Hello, my name is Janice Colombo, and I'm going to talk to you today about how you have the power to change a child's life. It's often been said that children are our future, but for 153 million, the truth is, we're their future. I chose the topic because not only is there a dire need to end the suffering and loneliness in the lives of orphaned children, but because you, my classmates, can make the difference. By the end of the speech, I hope you'll be aware of just how many children are relying on us to pay attention of their plight, as well as the ways that we can contribute to alleviating the problem. I'll begin by providing you with the size and scope of the problem, and next I'll review the few options that we have. And lastly, what I'd like to do is share some of my personal experiences with you. According to the Congressional Coalition on Adoption, there are over 153 million orphans in the world. Close to 400,000 of them are in the United States today, and only about 100,000 of them are eligible for adoption. Each one of them has their own heart-wrenching story. Many of the parents have given their children up for adoption because they just can't care for them anymore. Whether it be financial or emotional, they just weren't prepared to take another child into their life. They made the ultimate decision to give that child away for the hope of a better future. Some parents may have been taken from their child far too soon by illness, accident, or an act of war. But the cause doesn't really matter because the end result is still the same. There's a lonely child out there looking for someone who they can share their thoughts with, waiting for someone that they can come home to, someone who will give them that little bit of encouragement that makes life worth living. These children are just looking for a basic birthright of being loved and accepted and wanted in this world, just knowing that they belong to someone. Adoptive parents can do that. Adoptive parents can make them feel whole again. When you adopt, you become the sole provider of the child. They lean on you for everything, financially, emotionally. They become one of the family, just as though they were yours biologically. In 2011, out of that 100,000 children that are eligible for adoption, only 9,000 were adopted. Most of the children were adopted from China, Ethiopia, Russia, South Korea, and the Ukraine. The CCA research has shown that children who are adopted have improved their IQ by 20 points over those who remain institutionalized. Families who adopt actually spend more quality time around the dinner table than biological parents do because they understand the value of that new life that they've brought into their family. If you or someone you know are interested in adoption, the American Adoption Agency says that if you're between the ages of 25 and 50, are married, single, or even live an alternative lifestyle, you may be eligible for adoption. You can expect to wait approximately 12 months before you're selected for an adoptive placement. There are various forms of adoption that you can select. You can have an open adoption, a closed adoption, or a semi-open adoption. And the differences are, in an open adoption, information is freely exchanged between the biological and adoptive parents so that communications can be ongoing throughout the life of the child. In addition to that, you have the ability to know where that child came from, what their medical history has been or will be. In a closed adoption, information between the biological and adoptive parents remains secret. So there is no communication between the parties. But in a semi-open adoption, It's basically the best of both worlds. Limited information is shared. The biological parent can stay in touch at an arm's length distance. The adoptive parent does have the ability to gain information about the child's background, if need be. So this is probably the form of adoption that's picking up speed and becoming most popular these days. The cost of adoption is not inexpensive. It's between $26,000 and $42,000 on average, so it is a commitment, but the government offers a tax credit to offset the cost, and in 2013 that amounted to $13,000. Adoption is a lifelong commitment of both time and money. And if you're a parent, you already know the rewards, that they will be priceless. Now, adoption may not be for everyone, so we could take a look at a different form of caring for a child, and that's fostering. Adoption and fostering have many similarities, but there are very defined differences as well. You would still be taking a child into your home and caring for them as though they were yours emotionally. However, financially, they're taken care of. Their medical is covered by Medicare, and the state actually pays for their necessities. You would be reimbursed for necessities. So it's not a financial burden. It is a commitment of love and time. There are over 400,000 children who live in foster care, and those children who aren't fortunate enough to find foster placement will be left in institutions. Unfortunately, each year, about 27,000 children age out of the program. So once you reach the age of 18, you're no longer eligible for a state protection. The sad note is that less than half of these 27,000 children that age out are ready for or have any employment or are ready to face the world by themselves. They end up on the street, they end up homeless, committing crimes, pregnant. I mean, I can't even imagine, and I'm sure you can't either, what it might be like to be 18 years old and just left to your own defenses, with no one to go to and potentially no job to go to as well. So fostering program will help to ensure the child receives guidance and support that they long for before they've left to their own defense. But still, if this is still too much to commit to, there are alternatives. I know you're busy, you have work, you have school, and as Maslow said, he laid it out there for us. We're all human, we all have needs that we need to fulfill, and possibly these programs of adoption and fostering don't fit into your lifestyle today. So I'd like to talk to you about two other programs, mentoring and sponsorships. In a mentoring program, what you do is you build a relationship, a personal relationship with a very specific child. It's not a daily thing. It can be monthly, weekly, depending on the amount of time that you can commit. The important thing is you're dedicating your time to a child and fitting this child into your life as best that you can fit it. There is no cost associated with it. It's just a small commitment of time. I volunteer my time through work in two fashions. One is to mentor employees, new employees that come in to the program, and kind of give them guidance on their career. But I also volunteer my time through the bank to needy children, young teens, and this can be very rewarding. And I could tell you, you could see it in their eyes when you first meet them. I mean, there's just a blank stare on their face because they're so lost. Some of these kids are really so lost. They have no one at home that they can turn to, so they have to reach out to strangers. And then there are children there who just have all the energy, and you could see success in their eyes, but they just need to know that somebody cares, and they want to talk to someone who is interested in listening to them. So I find it very well worth my time to participate in the mentoring program, and I think if you try it, you might find that giving yourself to someone less fortunate would be a very rewarding process as well. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is child sponsorship programs. And we've all seen the commercials, children living in devastating conditions, struggling to acquire bare necessities to sustain them, food, water, sanitary living conditions. I'm here to tell you that it's very real, and these children do need our help. For less than 1 cent a day, you can make all the difference in the world. That 1 cent goes towards buying these children toiletries, clean clothes or shoes or school supplies so they can attend school. As a matter of fact, on birthdays and Christmas, my contributions, an extra contribution, even goes out towards making them feel a little special about themselves and knowing that somebody cares. Who you're seeing here are my first two sponsorship childs, Nubia and Gaylina, and both of them have been fortunate enough to leave the program because their families did well enough. But it was fun. It was fun hearing from them. Frequently, throughout the process, they keep in touch. As you can see, they send me pictures so I can see how they've grown. They send me letters and drawings. Like any little girl, I know they like to dance, they like to sing, and they enjoy helping their mom around the house. This is Estefania. Estefania just aged out of the program. She was with me since she was 4. She's now 16 years old, and she was a very studious child. She went to school for oral health, so she's got a nice career on her way. And this is Lusmila. I just met Lusmila. She's 5 years old, and we are beginning a new journey together. So I look forward to that. She's just adorable. So I hope by now you see and you can appreciate how many children are relying on us to acknowledge their existence and the ways in which we can make a difference. We've discussed the impact of being alone and unwanted and the size of this population. So before you discard the thought of caring for someone outside your immediate family, or doubt the effects of an interracial or same-sex adoption, or question whether you should take a stand, let me suggest that you first take a look at the world through the eyes of a lonely child, and please understand their fears of being alone, and then be a participant. Make their world a better place. Just one child at a time makes such a difference. I did, and I will never regret it. Thank you for your time. I also want to say this is an unusual video because technical difficulties with my computer, so I hope this wasn't too disturbing. Thank you very much. Have a good day.